Hello, and welcome to the Hangover edition of Kennedy Saves the World. Every time there's a major holiday that involves drinking, a lot of people are sick and miserable, and that's because they didn't follow my multi-step plan, which, if you had done all of these last night and this morning, you would be fine right now. So how does hangover prevention start? I'm glad you asked. It starts, and we're using Chick-fil-A today, with lean protein. So before you have a sip of alcohol, a good idea would be the Chick-fil-A nugs. The grilled nuggets, safe for celiacs. Delicious. It is protein that keeps you from getting sick. Lean protein before you drink, that is your friend. That's how it starts. That is the best way to prevent a hangover. Please, please trust me on this. People make the mistake of going to happy hour right after work. They don't have anything in their stomachs, and they're setting themselves up for disaster because you are introducing chemicals into your body that will transform and metamorphosize into toxins that you cannot process, that you will be very miserable if you have too much of that in your system, and that's when you get hungover. Now, once you've had the lean protein, then you're going to decide what you do with your booze. And whatever the old adage is, follow it. Listen to old people. They know what they're talking about. So you've heard wine before liquor, never sicker. Liquor before wine, you're doing fine. That's why when you go to a nice restaurant, you always start with a cocktail and then you move on to wine. I'm a big believer that if you are going to have wine, just stay with wine. If you're going to have champagne, just stay with champagne, because that's when you really start getting into trouble. So you think you're going to be classy and just have a little bit of Chardonnay, and then you start to get hammered, and that's when you're drinking like tiki drinks and body shots and Jello shots. And then, you end the night on something really stupid like a White Russian or a Bailey's-based espresso martini. That's not only a recipe for hangover, that's a recipe for vomit. And whatever you do when you drink alcohol, you want to avoid a hangover, and you certainly want to avoid getting sick. So if you have mixed your drinks properly, and you should because you're probably an adult by now, then the question is, what do you do before you go to bed? I'm a big believer, never take Tylenol when you've been drinking, because your liver cannot process alcohol and Tylenol at the same time. You can give yourself liver damage. So I'm a big believer in either Aleve or Advil. And if you've had too much to drink, make sure you set that out before you go out. So when you come home, you see it and you go, that's my Advil so I don't die. And what do you wash it down with? Our next friend in the lineup, this is pickle juice. You notice there aren't a lot of pickles in here. So when you're done with your pickles, keep the pickle juice, because it is not only great for hangover prevention, it's also really good if you're going to go on a long, hot run or do any extended exercise where you will be sweating a lot. For some reason, the salt and vinegar and spices that are in pickles make it an ideal electrolyte ratioed drink. So you don't want to slam it, but a few sips, delightful. It's super good. And now there are companies that sell pickle juice by itself as a sports drink. And I think that's fine, but why spend the extra money? Just save the juice from the pickles for nights like these. So if you know you're going to send it, set yourself up for success. Now, in the morning, if you haven't followed these tips, which will keep you from getting hungover, and you wake up and you feel really sick, don't start introducing things into your body until it is absolutely necessary. Sometimes, let's try our friend Pellegrino. Few sips of Pellegrino, you're good to go. It'll settle your stomach, give you a little bit of hydration. There's something about Pellegrino as opposed to just straight up cheap 99-cent grocery store club soda. Maybe because it's Italian and they manufacture everything a little bit better. It does the trick. It really does make you feel a little bit better. And sometimes that's all you need. Sometimes you just need hydration. You need to settle your stomach, and then you can move on to the rest of your day. If you are still feeling sick, that's when you got to go with the electrolytes. Some people swear by Pedialyte. I don't think you have to get that fancy. I say go for red Gatorade, because if you're going to barf, your barf is probably going to be pink to begin with. So this isn't really going to make you feel any more disgusting. I already feel my salvation in a bottle. Also, don't get low sugar Gatorade. Get high sugar, normal fruit punch Gatorade. That has plenty of electrolyte. And pickle juice may be hard to swallow if you are not feeling well. Your body, because we've all had Gatorade when we've had the flu or when we were sick when we were kids, there's something comforting about it. So you're almost self-soothing, and your body knows when it sees Gatorade that something or someone somewhere is taking care of you. If that doesn't work and you are still hungover after several hours, then you have no choice but to go back in. My friend Kat Timpf, when we were in South Africa in a treehouse, when we drank more than the entire South African Navy on shore leave in just one night of boozing, she woke up in the morning, cracked beer, and said sometimes the only way out is to go right back in. So this is V8. It's cold. I mixed a little bit of Tito's in it. So if you got to go back in, have a Bloody Mary, because again, you're getting salt and potassium and a little bit of booze, which if you're getting the shakes, that might be a whole different conversation. But I will tell you what, a little Bloody Mary goes a long way, and then you start to feel better. Now, I know people say you want a nice, greasy meal, and this is again, safe for celiacs, gluten-free bun, grilled Chick-fil-A chicken with some American cheese on top and lots of mayo. If you start to feel better, if you start to feel hungry, that means the hangover is over. And that is the best time to go ahead and eat your greasy burger, eat your Chick-fil-A, and you have to. This is crucial. If you are ready to eat, have a fountain Coke. Not a can of Coke, not a bottle of Coke. It has to be a fountain Coke with the right ratio of fresh carbonation and that pure liquid sugar and caffeine. That will absolutely make you feel better. Remember, hangovers are temporary. The bad decisions you make when you're drinking, they can last forever. Hey, baby, in 9 months. So hopefully you follow all of these steps so you take control of your own night and you wake up happy, because before, during, and after a night of drinking, you have to be your own best friend. I don't care what day of the year it is. I am always here for you. This has been Kennedy Saves the World, the Hangover Edition. I'm Kennedy. Listen ad-free with a Fox News Podcast Plus subscription on Apple Podcasts, and Amazon Prime members can listen to this show ad-free on the Amazon Music app. Oh, go ahead and leave me a review while you're there. I'd love to hear what you have to say. You've been listening to Kennedy Saves the World on the Fox News Podcast Network.